Hi guys, Michael Fights with Friends. This pretty breaking news here. So about an hour ago, Donald Cerrone tweeted out and posted this Instagram picture. He says, "I know a guy, just waiting on him," and then posted this picture of him and Conor McGregor. Now there has been speculation running all day into late yesterday that Donald Cerrone possibly wanted this fight, or there was possible interest by the UFC in this fight. I like this fight, and I don't think it's a particular mismatch either way on paper, 100%. And I definitely could turn into a mismatch. I mean, you have a similar striker to Darren Till in Conor McGregor, that he throws very hard, very straight punches. He comes out very quickly. He's very accurate. But you have a guy that in Cerrone that he's going to be fighting. He's not going to be fighting against a guy that's bigger than him if he goes down to 155 again. That's a huge thing, I think. And I think he's going to be able to take Conor down. He's going to have a great chance at taking Conor down. Conor has not really shown a great ability against anyone to have much of a takedown defense. Submissions are his Achilles heel at this point. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. And Donald Cerrone is a submission master. Now, I consider Conor McGregor an A-level fighter because he does the stand-up so well, and his takedown defense, it's been good enough to get past some great fighters. And he won 2 championships. You can't say that he's not a championship-level fighter when he won 2 championships. And he's beaten great fighters. Donald Cerrone has also beaten good fighters, so he has not had the championship. And at his age, I would say he is a B-level fighter. He has been capable at times of fighting up to A-level competition, though. He has a victory over Nate Diaz, where Conor McGregor has struggled, losing the first match to Nate Diaz and arguably in a lot of people's mind the second. It was very close. One of the greatest matches ever, maybe the best ever, until this last Saturday with Yair Rodriguez versus the Korean Zombie. And I now believe that that's the greatest fight in UFC history. If you don't believe so, then throw something else out there and try to prove otherwise. But it was a great fight up until the ending, and that, I think, put it over the top. It just ascended over the top with that incredible ending. Let's get back to the task at hand here, though. I said Donald Cerrone and Conor McGregor. Donald Cerrone is a guy that has been affected by some trash talk in the past. And a lot of people were wondering how anxiety was going to play into his match with Mike Perry. Well, his beef was not with Mike Perry. Yes, there could have been some anxiety because of the whole Jackson-Winkleman feud. He never had a feud with Perry, though. Those two don't dislike each other. They were very friendly with each other during, the lead up to this for the most part, and afterwards. And Mike Perry even said, "Congratulations, you broke my damn arm." So Donald Cerrone, I don't think, has faced the kind of verbal barrage that Conor McGregor is going to bring in a build-up to this fight, especially against a guy that he thinks might be susceptible to anxiety and has shown susceptibility to anxiety in fights in the past. Now, we talked about in his last fight, is this a new Donald Cerrone? We talked about the near-death experience. We talked about, him going through the pressure, fighting in front of his home crowd. He did great with that pressure, the pressure of going against the Jackson-Winkleman thing. And then he talked about the joy of becoming a father and that extra motivation of, hey, you're not going to take food out of my kid's mouth. Now this is personal. And it really depends on the kind of person. For me, going into fights, sometimes I could have anxiety into fights, and I will tell you, if I had something personal against that person, it helped with the anxiety. It helped me block it out and usually helped me focus more. And that might be the case with Cerrone. Also, Conor McGregor, not only do we not know what his status is legally when he's going to fight again, and I think he'll be able to fight again fairly soon. I think that they're going to get this kiboshed, and it may not be in Vegas. It may be in New York. It may be somewhere else, like when Tyson was suspended in Las Vegas. He ended up fighting Lennox Lewis in Knoxville, Tennessee, of all places. A lot of people wondered why that fight went down and happened there. Well, that was why, because he was facing literally a lifetime ban in Las Vegas at the time. You could see it in another state. You could see Conor's fight in another state while being suspended in Las Vegas. That is quite possible. And I think Donald Cerrone is a matchup that he might sign on for, especially if the money's good. Donald Cerrone is a very popular fighter. Obviously, Conor McGregor is a very popular fighter. This is going to sell. It's going to sell. And like I said, Conor McGregor knows Donald Cerrone, he's not a contender. He's probably not even a top 10 in the 155. He's right there, fringe contender, maybe top 10, but definitely B-level fighter compared to Conor McGregor. Fight for fight, in the image of the fans and the media and probably the UFC. But we know, like I've said, that Cerrone can fight up to his opponent. He has been sporadic in the past, but he has shown moments of greatness. He doesn't have the most finishes in UFC history, for no reason, because he's not a dangerous individual. He definitely is. I know he is aging. That might be another reason that Conor McGregor might take this fight. I see Conor McGregor wanting to come back, though. He just signed an 8-fight contract. I see him wanting to come back possibly for something. If it's not Khabib, which I don't think he's going to get Khabib, I think Tony gets Khabib first, even though Conor called for Khabib. I think this is going to be the first time in a long time that Conor doesn't get what he wants. So if he doesn't get Khabib and he doesn't get an absolute mega deal against Nate Diaz, and I'm not sure he's even ready for that fight yet, because like he said you can do that fight anytime. I think he may be saving that for a retirement fight, to be honest. I think he may think that Donald Cerrone is just safe enough to take the payday. I think he thinks that if I train and I'm 100% or maybe even 90%, this guy is not on my level. And he could be right. I mean, if Conor McGregor can catch Donald Cerrone in the first round, he certainly can knock him out. You get halfway through the second round, and I think you have a tie ball game. I think it's anybody's game at that point. You get into the fourth round, and I'll tell you, you got to start leaning towards Cerrone, given the history of both of these guys. Conor McGregor, it's become unquestionable now that his fatigue can be an issue in fights, whether it's his training. I think it's more just his hereditary makeup. Some people are just built differently. He's built muscularly. He's built with a lot of power that expends a lot of energy. And some people just don't have the cardiovascular ability that others do, no matter how much they train. And he has the cardiovascular ability of a super athlete. And there are super athletes that can make it through a 3-round fight. The elite of the elite can perform at A level for 5 rounds, though. The elite of the elite in cardio. Conor may be in the elite and elite in striking in MMA. I don't think even he would say he's among the elite of the championship level fighters when it comes to cardio. I wouldn't say he has horrible cardio, but I think he would agree with that statement. And what a great fight for Donald Cerrone. I mean, he's going to get paid well. If he doesn't want to now, he doesn't have to fight, 15 times a year. He can, he can live off this and for a while. He can probably retire if he wants. I don't know how he's sitting financially. Like I said, he just had a kid. But, he's definitely looking at a seven-figure fight, and he fights Conor McGregor. I would be surprised to see him get less than $3 million, as popular as he is. Quite possibly, he gets paid more than Khabib. He's more popular than Khabib. I think, especially with the U.S. fans, he's getting bigger over in Russia, but UFC isn't even that big in Russia. They have their own organizations. Khabib is definitely getting big over there, but that's not necessarily translating to money in the United States. Certainly not in the way it is for Conor McGregor from Ireland. So I think Donald Cerrone, he's a bigger draw. I think he can make a bigger fight. These guys have already had a little beef between each other, which makes this great because you don't have to fabricate anything. They already have something to build upon. Both Donald Cerrone has a great personality to match Conor McGregor. I mean, I could see they could have some kind of build-up similar to the Nate Diaz thing. Now, I'm not saying Donald Cerrone's not a Nate Diaz kind of guy. I think that some of that stuff he would consider beneath him. Some of that kind of trash talking things, and I don't think that's quite his style. But I want to know what you guys think down there in the comments. Is this the fight to make? Is this the fight? Would you guys be excited about this? Would you be happy to see it on a pay-per-view card as the main event? Not being a championship fight, but it's a 5-round fight. So let me know what you think down there in the comments. Please hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you like what I do here and you're not subscribed already. And remember, live streaming and super chat. We'll be back on this channel November 19th. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.